Welcome children, Sujata Miss, Fatima Convent High School. Unit 1, the solid state, lecture 6. Today's our topic is electrical properties. Solids can be classified into three types on the basis of their conductivities. Now we already know that conductors are solids which allow to pass or flow the electric current through them, and insulators are solids which do not allow the current to flow through them, whereas semiconductors are solids whose conductivity lies between metallic conductors and insulators. Some data to be remembered. Conductors, the solids with conductivities ranging between 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 7 per ohm meter are called conductors. Metals have the conductivities in the order of 10 raised to 7 per ohm meter and are good conductors. Insulators. These are solids with very low conductivities ranging between 10 raised to minus 20 to 10 raised to minus 10 per ohm meter. Semiconductors. These are solids with conductivities in the intermediate range from 10 raised to minus 6 to 10 raised to 4 per ohm meter. Now how to remember? On the number line we can remember minus 20 to minus 10, minus 6 to 4, and in the number line the value 4 to 7, that is the value increases. A few things to be understood. Conduction of electricity. A conductor may conduct electricity through movement of electrons or ions. Metallic conductors belong to the former category and electrolytes to the latter. It means metallic conductors conduct electricity through the movement of electrons, whereas electrolytes conduct electricity through the movement of ions. Metals conduct electricity in the solid as well as in the molten state. The conductivity of metals depend upon the number of valence electron available per atom. The atomic orbital of metal atoms form molecular orbitals which are so close in energy to each other as to form a band. Now this is something new for you. A band is formed by the molecular orbitals in metals. Band theory in metals. It is accepted in band theory that there are two bands in a metal or a substance. One is valence band, in which the valence electrons of the substance are included. The second band over this band is called a conduction band. The space gap between these two bands is called an energy gap or a forbidden zone. This is a valence band and this is a conduction band. The space in between the bands, if any, it is known as a energy gap or forbidden zone. Now in case of metals, electrons can easily go from valence band to conduction band, and conduction of electricity becomes easy, and so they are called good conductors of electricity. Metals, if valence band overlaps with a higher energy unoccupied conduction band, then electrons can flow easily under an applied electric field and the metal shows conductivity. Here you can see the large energy gap, that is a forbidden zone, the filled band, that is a valence band, and the empty band, that is a conduction band. Insulators. If the gap between the filled valence band and the next higher unoccupied band that is the conduction band, is large, electrons cannot jump to it, and such a substance has a very small conductivity and it behaves as an insulator. Semiconductors. In case of semiconductors, the gap between the valence band and conduction band is small. Here you can see the gap is small. Therefore, some electrons may jump to the conduction band and show some conductivity. At room temperature, the conductivity of this type of semiconductors are quite low. Electrical conductivity of semiconductors increases with rise in temperature since more electrons can jump to the conduction band. Substances like silicon and germanium show this type of behavior and are called intrinsic semiconductors. A little more knowledge. Semiconductors are of two types: intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Further, you will study that extrinsic semiconductors are divided into p type and n type semiconductors. The semiconductors which can conduct electricity in their pure form are called intrinsic semiconductors. Example, germanium and silicon. The semiconductors which are formed by adding impurity to the intrinsic semiconductors are called as extrinsic semiconductors. Doping. We already discussed the conductivity of semiconductors at room temperature is quite low. The conductivity of these intrinsic semiconductors is too low to be of practical use. The conductivity of semiconductors is increased by adding an appropriate amount of suitable impurity. This process is called doping. Doping can be done with an impurity which is electron rich or electron deficient as compared to the intrinsic semiconductor, that is silicon or germanium. Electron rich impurities. Silicon and germanium belong to group 14 of the periodic table, and we know they have 4 valence electrons each. In their crystal, each atom forms 4 covalent bonds. Because there are 4 valence electrons, they will form 4 covalent bonds with their neighbors. Now, this is a perfect crystal of silicon atom. When doped with group 15 element like phosphorus or arsenic, which contain 5 valence electrons, they occupy some of the lattice sites in silicon or germanium crystal. Now here you can see each silicon atom has 4 valence electrons of its own, and it forms a covalent bond with the neighboring atom. Now when silicon atom is doped by arsenic, here you can see the arsenic is forming 4 covalent bonds. So here 1, 2, 3 and 4. The 5th electron is extra, which is shown over here, and it becomes delocalized. 4 out of 5 electrons are used in the formation of 4 covalent bonds with 4 neighboring silicon atoms. The 5th electron is extra and becomes delocalized. The delocalized electrons increases the conductivity of doped silicon or germanium if it is a germanium atom. Here the increase in conductivity is due to negatively charged electron. Hence, silicon doped with electron rich impurity is called n-type semiconductor. Electron deficit impurities. Silicon or germanium can also be doped with group 13 elements like boron, aluminium or gallium, which contain only 3 valence electrons. Now we know group 13 elements have 1 electron less compared to silicon and germanium, that is group number 14. The place where 4th valence electron is missing is called electron hole or electron vacancy. Come over here. The boron atom is replacing the silicon atom, and here you can see 1, 2 and 3 electrons of the boron atom. The 4th electron is missing. An electron from its neighboring atom can come and fill the electron hole, but in doing so it would leave an electron hole at its original position. Now here, in order to fill up this hole, an electron from here can come and fill up this hole, but here in its original position of the electron, a hole will be created. Again, in order to fill this hole, an electron will come or jump from here to here. Again a hole is created over here. Then further an electron from here or here can jump to this place to fill up the hole, and here in its original position a hole is created. So if the electron has moved in this direction, then the electron hole has moved in the opposite direction. Now how to remember N and P type of semiconductors? Just a way of memorizing. N is for negative and electrons are negative. So N type semiconductors are made by doping with elements which are electron rich, that is group 15 elements to silicon and germanium, whereas P type of semiconductors are prepared by adding impurities of elements of group 13, which are, you can say, P for positive, and they have less number of electrons compared to silicon and germanium. Applications of N type and P type of semiconductors. Various combinations of N type and P type semiconductors are used for making electronic components. Diode is a semiconductor device with 2 terminals, typically allowing the flow of current in one direction only. Is a combination of N type and P type semiconductors and are used as rectifier. Now rectifier is an electrical device which converts an alternating current into a direct one by allowing a current to flow through it in only one direction. Transistors, a semiconductor device, are made by sandwiching a layer of one type of semiconductor between 2 layers of other type of semiconductor. NPN and PNP type of transistors are used to detect or amplify audio or radio signals. The solar cell is an efficient photodiode used for conversion of light energy into electrical energy. A large variety of solid state materials have been prepared by combination of group 13 and 15 or groups 12 and 16 to stimulate average valence of 4 as in Ge or Si, that is germanium or silicon. Typical compounds of groups 13, 15 are INSP, AlP and GaAs. Now gallium arsenide, that is GaAs, semiconductors have very fast response and has revolutionized the design of semiconductor devices. ZNS, CDS, CDSC and HGTE are examples of group 12 and 16 compounds. It is interesting to learn that transition metal oxides show marked differences in electrical properties. TiO, CrO2 and ReO3 behave like metals. Now, rhenium oxide ReO3 is like metallic copper in its conductivity and appearance. Certain oxides like VO, VO2, VO3 and TiO3 show metallic or insulating properties depending on temperature. Now, I have covered much of the portion because there are number of MCQs from this paragraph. For example, it can be asked as which of the following shows conductivity like metallic copper? Then the answer will be ReO3. So this topic remains important for theory as well as MCQs. So we discussed today metals, insulators and semiconductors. Semiconductors of P-type and N-type and their applications. So that's it for today. Thank you and meet you in the next class.